Last Friday, Telltale held a company-wide meeting to announce that they would be laying off 200 of its employees, none of which had any idea that this would be happening. To even further surprise, the employees learned that they wouldn't be getting a severance, their health insurance would be running out by the end of the month, and they would have to get out of the building in 30 minutes, as reported by Kotaku. Telltale would also announce that all the games it was working on, including The Wolf Among Us 2 and the Stranger Things game, would be canceled, with the exception and misplaced hope that the final season of The Walking Dead could be finished. And that's the part that's upsetting me the most. Telltale released a statement on Twitter stating that there's a possibility that other studios might sweep in and pick up what is left to be finished of The Walking Dead final season, parts of which are already out. Whether or not the employees laid off will get to continue their work on the project, maybe with a studio that decides to sweep it up, or better yet, get paid for the lack of a severance that Telltale gave them, was information they chose not to disclose. Now, with all that said, of course it sucks that these games that some of us were looking forward to will never happen, but the thing that's upsetting to me the most are those who are taking priority of being upset over the games such as The Walking Dead final season, opposed to being empathetic to the 200-some people who now no longer have a job. Now, let this be a reminder that these games are made by gamers just like you. And behind every game is hundreds of passionate people just trying to make whatever it is that they love most, and that is games. So carefully consider just how upset you are that The Walking Dead may not be finished, and instead empathize with those who are now out of a job in San Francisco, of all cities to be unemployed in. Damn. Now, there's a lot of speculation left as to what the fate is for Telltale with the remaining 25 employees of a skeleton crew, but as of today, Polygon broke news that one of their former employees is hitting them with a class action lawsuit for breaking federal and state employee laws, most specifically the WARN Act, which is essentially businesses with more than 100 employees must give 60 days notice to shutting down. In this case, they didn't give anything. With that in mind, it is very hard to see Telltale existing past all the really horrible shit they did to their hardworking employees. Now, I've been a long-time Telltale fan dating back to the reboot of Sam & Max and even their Strong Bad adventure game that they put out all those moons ago. It also holds a place in my heart as a die-hard adventure game fan because they were one of the studios that emerged from LucasArts that managed to make storytelling-focused video games kind of mainstream again. So upon the initial news of them possibly closing, that was upsetting, but then learning all of this just kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for at least whatever the future is of those games, specifically The Walking Dead final season. Now, I don't want that to discredit all the amazing work that all those employees have put out in the past. It's just unfortunate how to view them as an entity and maybe even how they treated those people prior to this. I don't know. It sucks. Now, I'm definitely not confident in everything that led to this point, and I'm not comfortable in making a clear statement as to what I think happened, but I will say this. They managed to evolve a game genre that was otherwise considered dormant, and in doing so, revolutionized storytelling mechanics for games to come, even of AAA status and beyond. But they couldn't manage to adapt to industry standards, let alone keep up with the demands of the newly found fan base following the success of the first season of The Walking Dead. And in my personal opinion, I think a lot of this could have been a product of them expanding too soon, too fast, following the success of that game. And very quickly after that, it seemed like they were grabbing up as many big name franchises as possible. And in its attempt to be prolific, very well may have been their demise. Now that isn't to say they didn't have some big franchises prior to The Walking Dead, because they did do a Jurassic Park game and a Back to the Future game. But I think it's at least worth noting that following The Walking Dead, we immediately had things such as Game of Thrones, Minecraft, Batman, and then they were, of course, did Wolf Among Us, and they were moving on to Stranger Things. I think those were things were a lot more relevant and mainstream in the moment, opposed to picking up the pieces of something like Back to the Future. All of the articles that I use to get my information from will be in the description below, so check those out if you would like. But ultimately, I wanted to make this video because I did see kind of a wish-washy thing of developers being upset that the employees aren't getting the due they deserve, but then I see gamers who are just upset that they're not getting the product that they wanted. And though I would be upset if I had already invested my time and money in something like The Walking Dead final season. I haven't, but I sure as fuck won't now. And all of a sudden, this entire situation just reminded me of a book called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which is essentially about this entire situation, employees making video games who are overworked and go through hell to make a game that sometimes won't even come to fruition. So I strongly recommend reading this. I feel like this is a culture of video game making that maybe is not as mainstream or as well known as it should be, and the fact that it's very common for people to crunch and work weekends and work nights, 80-hour weeks, and then sometimes are met with something like a studio shutting down. So yeah, Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, it's good. Okay, not super fun video, but then again, not super fun news. Nonetheless, I want to know what you guys think. Were you really looking forward to The Walking Dead, or do you really not care about Telltale and what it is that's going on? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Indovina. Till next time, bye.